अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
Assalamu alaikum. So can you guys see the screen?
यस सर।
अच्छा,
सर
so
कैन
I'm
यू प्लीज अपडेट द क्लासरूम?
so update.
सर मतलब वो जो जो भी मतलब वर्कशीट वगैरह आप सेंड करते थे पहले, वो
अच्छा,
उधर सेंड कर दें।
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है.
उधर से एडिट का ऑप्शन हो जाता है ना, तो वहीं से बंद करा मैं कर लेता हूँ।
चलो ठीक है. अच्छा, चलो one by one ना ये मैं I'm going to put this in the classroom as well. I'm going to put everything in the classroom. सही है. अच्छा, चलो this one. We're going to start with this one. Or remember chemistry का ना, when you're doing chemistry past paper questions, the bigger problem is that chemistry past paper questions are a mix of many different topics. Okay, that's why unless you haven't done all the topics, the past papers they look kind of confusing because every question has like I mean you need information from 2 3 topics. Acha, why does neon exist as single atoms while fluorine exists as molecules? What's the reason? But neon, why? What's wrong with neon? Zar kya hoga? Hello, he up. Any idea what's why is neon existing as single atoms?
सर कैन यू रिपीट योर क्वेश्चन? सर कैन यू रिपीट योर
Wait,
क्वेश्चन?
why is neon existing as single atoms? ये सामने screen. Can you see the screen?
सर एक सेकंड, शायद नेट का मसला है। एक सेकंड। यस सर,
अच्छा,
आपने कहा।
चलो ठीक है. Why does neon exist as single atoms? Right?
सर इनर्ट गैस है
Masla
ना?
Kabira. The inert gas, again, why does it exist as single atom? Why does a noble gas exist as a single atom? Key question. Because it has क्या issue है? Because it has a full octet, a full outer
फुल
shell.
ऑक्टेट, यस, तो शेल फुल होगा।
So it doesn't need electrons. Okay, and if so, remember noble gases, they all have complete outer shells and they don't need electrons. So they don't have anything to do with other atoms. They're complete out, so they're going to exist as single atoms. While fluorine, okay, what's wrong with fluorine? So why does it exist as molecules? Because it needs one electron. So what does it do? So it shares one electron and bonds with other fluorine atoms. ठीक है, वो लिख देते हैं. So it shares one electron and ends up bonding with. It shares one electron and bonds with other fluorine atoms. ठीक है. Mainly your answer would have been just that one is a full outer shell electron and this one needs one electron. ठीक है. अच्छा, what determines the order of the elements in a period? How are elements ordered in a periodic table?
अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रोटॉन।
Okay, so that's according to the proton number. Okay, not the nuclear number. They're all arranged according to the proton number. I said next one. The boiling point of nitrogen is very low, even though the bond between the atoms in a nitrogen molecule is very strong. Suggests an explanation. और यहाँ पे ना is saying arrangement of the outer shell electrons in a molecule of nitrogen. First thing, पहले सारा कर लेते हैं. Nitrogen is in group 5. So how many valence electrons does it have if it's in group 5?
सर ग्रुप 5 में तो 5
As a group 5, so it's got 5 valence electrons. How many electrons does it need?
+3 सर। 3 3 3।
Okay, so how many bonds will it make? It's going to make 3 bonds, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's going to make 3 bonds with the other nitrogen atom because that also wants to make 3 bonds. Okay, so keep this in mind. If we've studied this in covalent bonding, that group 7 needs 1 electron, so it makes how many bonds? 1 bond. Group 7 it's got 7 electrons, so it just needs 1 electron, so it's going to make 1 bond. Okay, group 6 it's already got 6 electrons, it needs 2 electrons, so it's going to share 2 electrons and make 2 bonds. Group 5 will make 3 bonds. And your group concept 4 will make, it needs 4 electrons, so it's going to make 4 bonds, right? So nitrogen and the other nitrogen atom will have a triple covalent bond. And that triple covalent bond would look like this. It's going to have, that's 1 bond, that's the second bond, and that's the third bond. So out of 5 electrons, it's making 3 bonds. So how many electrons are left which are not bonding?
2 on each side.
Okay, 5 ka matlab hai it's got 5 valence electrons. They are bonding. That means 2 electrons are still not bonding. So that's a nitrogen molecule. And remember, this is a triple covalent bond, and a triple covalent bond is very strong. ठीक है, बल्कि नाइट्रोजन का मैं थोड़ा सा बता देता हूँ. Nitrogen is so strong that it's very unreactive. 78% of our atmosphere is what? It's 78% of our atmosphere is just nitrogen, right? And it's completely unreactive. It doesn't do anything because the bond is very strong that it is almost impossible to break this bond. Okay, so most of the time during collisions, nitrogen doesn't do anything because it doesn't react. Okay, is that clear? So the question is, the next question is, the previous one, is your part C. The boiling point of nitrogen is very low. So why is the boiling point so low? Why is it a gas? So because it's a simple covalent molecule, it's a simple molecular structure. Because one molecule and the other molecule and the third molecule, they don't have anything to do with each other. This is flying around, this is flying around. That's why they're gases. That's why they have low boiling points. Because between the molecules, there is no force of attraction. There is a very weak attractive force that's known as an intermolecular force. So, so the reason its boiling point is very low, even though its bond is very strong, is that it has a simple molecular structure. It's a simple molecular structure with
सर ऑल
with
को सारे कोवलेंट बॉन्ड्स हैं, उनका सबका सिंपल मॉलिक्यूलर स्ट्रक्चर ही होगा ना?
हाँ, सिवाय वो 2-3 जो giant covalent है, ठीक है, with very
जी
weak intermolecular
फोर्सेस.
forces which can be broken easily. Okay, they can be broken easily. You don't have to apply a lot of force. You don't have to give it a lot of energy, which is why they're always in gaseous state. Okay. So remember, covalent molecules. Uh, this is the structure, and this is why they have weak intermolecular forces. Let's say graphite पे आ गया. Why is graphite? Explain the following. Why is graphite a soft material which is used as a lubricant? इसका क्या था? Why is graphite?
The layers can slip and slide easily due to the weak van der Waals forces.
हाँ बस ठीक है. The layers in the giant covalent structures, the sheets of graphite in the giant covalent structure can easily slip and slide due to weak, कौन सी force थी? Van der Waals forces. or you can write weak intermolecular force. ठीक है, you had sheets of graphite and they were all, इसके मैं notes भी निकाल लेता हूँ साथ ही so we can refer to them and see what's happening. इधर नजर आ रहे chemical equations, bonding कहाँ पे, chemical bonding. Yeah. अच्छा, I'll just have a look at, I'll just show you graphite and so we can revise simultaneously. Yeah, again, no? This is diamond and graphite was, it was a layered sheet-like structure. Each carbon was making 3 bonds, and it wasn't making. I mean, there's a fourth electron that was delocalized. It was a sheet-like structure that weak intermolecular forces between the sheet, which is why it was soft and they can easily slip and slide. So, anyways, coming back. So, diamond is a very hard material which is used for drilling and cutting. Why is that?
The strong covalent bonds in the giant covalent structure.
Okay, so, बल्कि extensive network of strong covalent bonds. As an extensive network of strong or very strong covalent bonds in the giant covalent structure. Which makes it very strong. And hence it makes it suitable for drilling, cutting, polishing metals, okay, all of that. As a graphite is a good conductor of flex use, just 1 point. What's the, it's just one line. Why is graphite a good conductor? क्या होता है? It's got
Free moving delocalized ions,
electrons.
electrons.
Okay, it's got free moving delocalized electrons. And diamond has no free move. Diamond has no mobile electrons or free moving electrons. Okay, that's it. I said the user of substance are determined by its properties. So plastic, वो organic में आ जाता है, we leave that. We did metal as well. So chromium is a hard, shiny metal. So just 2 reasons why chromium is used to electroplate steel. इसको भी छोड़ दो, metals में detail में. ये मैं skip कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Metals की जो detail है, we'll do that in a separate chapter. अच्छा, why is, हाँ ये वाला जो bonding वाला part है. Describe the bonding in a typical metal. So what does the bonding look like? And every time when this question gets asked, it's going to be kind of the same answer. So metals खोल लेते हैं कि what is the bonding in a metal? The bonding in a metal, it looks like this. And what is this? It's a giant metallic lattice. It's a lattice of positive, it's a metal lines in a sea of free moving electrons. Okay? And the negatively charged electrons attract the positive metal lines. And so this is what you will write over here. Okay? So the bonding in a typical metal. So it forms a giant metallic lattice. So it's a regular arrangement or a lattice of positive metal ions. Metal ions, spelling cycle, in a sea of mobile or free moving or delocalized electrons. And the positive metal ions and negative electrons attract each other. Okay, is this clear? Here, is this clear? Nabila?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. So we did the colors. Remember, chlorine is greenish yellow, bromine is a red-brown liquid, and iodine is a gray-black solid. You can remember beach when we did some periodic table and we did some basic introduction. So how do the colors change down the group? They become darker. बाकी physical state वगैरह छोड़ देते हैं. Forget this. I'm just going to do chemical bonding questions. Okay, here's another chemical bonding question. They've given the structural formula, which they've already done for us. All we have to do now is we have to just draw the electrons. So it's carbon in the middle, and there is oxygen, right? So I've got carbon, I've got oxygen, and I've got Cl, and I've got another Cl. Between the carbon and Cl, there's a single bond, and between the carbon and oxygen, there is a double bond, right? So I've followed what they've drawn. You remember we practice a lot of these structures. So I'm simply following what they've drawn. And the only thing remaining is you have to draw the remaining electrons. So group 7 makes one bond. So out of 7 electrons, 1 is bonding. So that means 6 electrons are still left. The other chlorine also makes one bond. So out of 7 electrons, 6 electrons are left. Oxygen is in group 6. So out of 6, group 6 makes 2 bonds. So out of 6, 2 electrons are shared. 4 are left. So we're going to draw the remaining 4. Okay, is this thing clear?
Yes, sir.
और आगे चलते हैं कि अच्छा. So yes, strontium is a metal and sulfur is a non-metal. Explain why both have chlorides of the type XCl2. So now strontium is a group 2 metal and chlorine is group 7. So this is a metal non-metal. This is the one that's going to lose electrons. And it's going to lose 2 electrons. Group 2 wala jo hota hai, it has 2 valence electrons. Cl is the one that's going to gain an electron, but it's only going to gain 1 electron, which is why you need 2 Cls. क्योंकि एक Cl है तो 1 Cl is going to gain. So 1 Cl would only gain 1 electron. So that's why you would need 2 Cls. उससे why both of the chlorides have the type XCl2. So strontium has 1 Sr and 2 Cls because Cl is only gaining 1 electron. ये वाली चीज clear है? Is this clear?
please sulfur क्या हुआ?
नहीं इस पर बताता हूँ. तो आप एक तो explain करोगे strontium is a metal loses 2 electrons, right? I mean just explain this in sentence form. And Cl is a non-metal which gains 1 electron, which is why you need 2 Cls. As sulfur is group 6 and Cl is group 7. Both of them are non-metals, which means they're going to form a covalent bond. Sulfur group 6 is, so how many bonds would it make?
2.
Because it needs 2 electrons, so it's going to make 2 bonds. Cl is group 7. Group 7 needs 1 electron, so it's only going to make
1 bond.
So the bonding होगी, sulfur would make 1 bond with Cl. Cl only makes 1 bond. Sulfur would then have to make another bond with the other Cl. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So sulfur जो है वो बैठा दूसरे Cl के साथ, it's going to make another bond, and that's how the bonding will be complete. So that is a covalent molecule, but it will still have the same formula, which is XCl2, because sulfur is in group 6, it makes 2 covalent bonds, while Cl is in group 7, makes only 1 covalent bond. So hence 2 Cls would be needed when sulfur makes 2 covalent bonds. Okay? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Achha. remember, I'm just skipping questions. Explain the difference in electrical conductivity of liquid strontium chloride and sulfur chloride. So one thing is, covalent molecules don't conduct because they don't have any free moving electrons. Covalent molecules, they never conduct electricity. Is that clear? But the covalent ne to karna nahi hai, theek hai? The other one is an ionic compound, right? And ionic compounds, they conduct. And why do they conduct? Because ionic compounds have, unke paas kya hota hai? They've got free moving
Delocalized electron.
नहीं electrons नहीं.
आयंस होंगे इसमें, आयंस होंगे.
हाँ, ionic compound वो क्या chemical bonding and nodes. Remember, electrons conduct electricity in metals. Graphite में it's electrons that are conducting. Molecules don't conduct electricity. ठीक है? So all these molecules, they're not going to conduct. और उससे पहले था, we've got ionic compounds. Covalent खत्म हो जाए. Ionic compounds, they conduct electricity, but only when they are either molten or aqueous, because in solid state, the ions or the charged particles, they can't really move. Okay? So they will only conduct when they are aqueous or when they are molten. So the liquid strontium chloride is molten. So it has free moving ions. And yes, it is going to conduct. And liquid strontium chloride, but एक mark तो ये हो गया ना कि yes, it will conduct, right? And it will conduct because of free moving ions. And for the other one, it's going to be no, that it's not going to conduct because it has no free moving electrons or ions. That's the next one. I said, he's saying dot and cross diagram of methanol. Although you haven't done methanol, that's organic. But I'm going to write down the formula for you. And you have to draw the dot and cross. Remember, carbon is in group 4. So group 4 कितने bonds बनाता है? It makes 4 bonds, right? Oxygen is group 6. Group 6 has 6 electrons. It needs 2 electrons. So it makes 2 bonds. Or जो आपका H है ना, that makes 1 bond because it only has 1 electron. So I have to put together, so carbon is going to make 4 bonds, right? So H would come along, make 1 bond. Carbon still needs to make 4, it has to complete its 4 bonds, so there's going to be another H. And maybe there's another H, right? So carbon is still short of 1 bond, right? If I put in that H, I can't, because I have to put in an oxygen as well. Oxygen wants to make 2 bonds. Now carbon's bonding is complete. Oxygen wants to make 2 bonds. So oxygen at the moment is making just 1 bond, so it can bond with another H, and its bonding will be complete as well. ठीक है, ये clear है? All of them are making the right number of bonds. Is that clear? Yeah, is this clear, Nabila? Zarar, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and using this, you can now draw the dot and cross diagram, which is you got a carbon, you got 3 H's, you got an oxygen, and you got an H. And all are single bonds. So this was oxygen, this is carbon, this is H, and H. And you have to draw the remaining electrons. So carbon has 4 electrons, all 4 are, and it ended up sharing all 4, so nothing is left. H has 1 electron, so that's done. Oxygen is in group 6. It is sharing 2 electrons, so 4 electrons are left. So in the case of oxygen, 4 electrons are left. Is this clear? Clear, Nabila? Zarar, here, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we can skip these questions, just chemical bonding for now. So what's a zinc alloy? How would you define an alloy? क्या होता है? Zarar, what's an alloy?
Mixture of a metal with an impurity. Sir.
Acha, Nabila nahi, acha the previous Nabila, just 1 second. Nee, it's not COH, it's actually, I mean the 3 is with H. Okay, maybe I wasn't clear. The 3 was at the bottom of this H. There was only one O. Okay. हाँ क्या कह रहे थे Zara? What were you saying?
A mixture of metal and an impurity, sir.
ठीक है, metal and और zinc alloy क्या होगा? It's going to be a mixture of zinc metal with
Zinc
another
with
metal.
some sort of impurity.
हाँ, with another metal or some impurity, right? अच्छा, बाकी अच्छा जिंक का लार्ज स्केल, वन लार्ज स्केल, वो बल्कि अभी वो metals में ही करेंगे तो decide the bonding in a typical metal again. So in this case, we just did this. ठीक है, remember this is the typical question that's going to come, and it's going to have a very typical answer, which is कहाँ गया हमारा metals? एक second. वो अभी लिखा था हमने. So this is going to be have a very typical answer, which is this. The drawing would be this. A lot of positive ions in a sea of mobile electrons. And it's going to be a giant metallic lattice of positive metal ions in a sea of free moving electrons. And the negatively charged free moving electrons attract the positive metal ions. Okay? So this is what you're going to write over there. Suggests why the introduction of a different atom into the structure makes the alloy less malleable. So when you add a different metal, it ends up forming an alloy like this. So when it forms an alloy, तो उसका आंसर ये है, ठीक है? The answer is exactly written in the notes. That's when you add different size ions, the metallic lattice becomes irregular. Irregular metallic lattice is formed and difficult for ions to slip and slide, and that makes them less malleable and ductile. Pure metals are softer. And why are they softer? Because they are very regularly arranged and the sheets can slip and slide very easily. Is that clear? ये clear है सारा को?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा ये तो वो हो गया. अच्छा, but keep this in mind that the answers have to be written very, very properly. अच्छा, next one. इसको भी skip करें. We just stick to chemical bonding now. ये कोई आया हाँ. अच्छा, he's saying, अच्छा, arsenic is an element that's in group 5. He's given you the electronic configuration. How many bonds would this make? Group कितने बनाएगा? Group
3
5.
bonds.
3 bonds, right? And so it's going to make 3 bonds, right? So it's arsenic के spelling क्या होते हैं? Did he give us the spelling? AS है. So that's arsenic. And it's going to make 3 bonds with H. Because H only wants to make 1 bond. So it's going to be arsenic and there would be 3 H's. So out of 5 electrons, arsenic makes 3 bonds. And there'll be 2 electrons left. Out of these 5 electrons, your 2 electrons would still be left at the end of the reaction. TK, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, reduce the structural formula of structural formula we can skip. Here's another one. Remember, N is in group 5. So group 5 makes 3 bonds, which it is making 3 bonds. ठीक है, यहाँ पे ऊपर ना, it is making 3 bonds. This N makes 3 bonds. The other N also makes 3 bonds. So you're just going to follow that ठीक है, there are two N's and there are two H's. And on the other side, you got two H's as well. All bonds in the diagram are single bonds. अच्छा बीच में अच्छा I'm not actually following this, but you should follow this. Nitrogen was actually the cross, so I did the opposite. But anyways, nitrogen is in group 5, so it makes 3 bonds. So that means 2 electrons are left for this nitrogen as well, which are not bonding. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. Explain the term lattice. What is a lattice? It's basically it's used for solids. For example, giant metallic lattice. You've got giant ionic lattice. Lattice is simply a regular arrangement of particles. Well, since we're dealing with ionic compounds, in this specific case, it would probably be a regular arrangement of ions. Explain how the ions are held together by strong forces. So what is that force? It's a strong electrostatic attraction that is going to exist. That is going to exist between positive ions and negative ions. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Or फिर से वही question आ गया. Describe the bonding in a typical metal. You can remember this is exactly yeah, it is describe the bonding in a typical metal. It's answer the bonding. So it's you draw the diagram. Giant metallic lattice, it's a lattice of positive metal ions and a sea of free moving electrons. And the negatively charged electrons are attracted to the positive metal ions. Okay, that's how we are going to describe. Asha, he's given you certain properties of metallic, ionic, and giant covalent. Explain the difference in electrical conductivity between the 3 types of giant structures and the difference, if any, between the solid and liquid state of the same structure. So ionic compounds, conductivity when solid, उसमें क्या लिखोगे? They don't conduct when they're solid because the ions cannot move. But when they are liquid, they become good conductors because they have free moving ions. Achha, metallic will conduct in all states. Why? Because they always have free moving mobile electrons. Giant covalent, they don't conduct. I mean, graphite is an exception, but I don't think that he's talking about graphite. Probably talking about something else, okay? Like diamond or silica. So giant covalent, they don't conduct. Why? Because they don't have any free moving electrons or ions. Clear है तीनों की explanation? Is this clear? Zarar, Iya, Nabila, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so यहाँ पे KUs. So chromatograph. अच्छा मेरे ख्याल से. अच्छा, what's an element? We had written this down previously. It's a substance that contains atoms of the same type, having the same proton numbers, right? All elements are defined by or identified by the proton numbers because I told you that electrons can be lost, they can be gained. Neutrons can be lost and gained. Neutrons can be less or more, like in isotopes. But the atom is defined by the positive nucleus, which has the protons. So the element is a substance that contains the same type of atoms. A compound is a substance when 2 or more atoms of different elements combine together. A mixture is a substance is formed when 2 or more substances are physically mixed together. The last time we did brass. What is brass? Brass is copper and zinc. अच्छा उसे classify करो इनको. So brass is a mixture. of copper and zinc. Carbon dioxide is a compound because they are chemically bonded together, two different elements. Copper, on the other hand, is an element because it has substances or atoms of exactly the same type. TK, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, which physical property is used to distinguish between it is possessed by all metals but is only shown by one metal, non-metal? You can't see property. Which property is this?
Conducts electricity.
Only graphite is the one that conducts in non-metals. Okay. So, okay, let's continue next time. And I'll share all of this TK again on Google Classroom. So, yeah.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Okay. Nabila brass, पता नहीं Nabila है. Nabila brass is a mixture क्योंकि the metals, alloys are always a mixture because they just mix together. They don't chemically combine. ठीक है.